Welcome back to another episode. Let's get into the role of things.
Gods keep you.
They don't know anything about this. I can let go to the What is it? Where are the mad Captain Defiant Bay? Only place around here that takes them in is Blackenberry Sanatorium. I heard they can treat your soul there. Take the man its way, but that's just many stories coming out of the place that chill your blood. They're the man, if you want to call him that. El Matar. He's head warden if you visiting or checking yourself in. He the one to talk to. Oh, that is nice. Oh, I have to go to the Hardwood house. Yeah, Hardwood house. I've been there before. Oh, this person again. Older Roma. As you know the operation, you are overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that's it, like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real, but the recollection of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. It wrenches your inside. Nevertheless, the operation flows. It's tensed. A look of concern across the face. The other
missionaries say you have been neglectful of your duties.
My mind had been elsewhere.
Oh? And what troubles you?
The pain in your stomach deepens and you feel for a moment as though you are about to be sick. Your mouth have gone dry. Forgive me, Emmets. I wish you lead the order. The man folds his fingers together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful.
You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
My family have not taken my new faith well. They no longer speak to me. The apparition exhales slowly, and his lips press together, a sympathetic rapport in his eyes. It places its hand on your shoulder.
The trials of faith can be without mercy, separating us from those we love, leaving no easy answers.
I have failed the god. I have broken my oath.
You have failed no one. The gods would not ask you to abandon your family. It is your family that has failed you.
They stand by their beliefs.
Yet they do not allow you the same. They would have you trade your deepest beliefs for their affections. If you allow this, you will gain their acceptance, but lose their respect.
What other choice do I have?
Hold firm to your convictions. Continue your work. Believe in the power of the gods to reach all people. Your family will find them on their own.
What if they don't?
As long as you worship the gods, you will never be without family. You needn't choose between the two.
The knot in your stomach seems loosen all at once. The anxiety is replaced with something else entirely. Something warm and smoothing. And it's something you know you can never repay. As the field of vision fades, you start to become cognizant of many odd-looking aims in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. I will.
Good day, stranger.
Carrier. Excuse me, but I've been looking for you. You're one of those who lifted the curse on Heritage Hill. My lady who wished to remain anonymous have entrusted me with bringing you this pistol. It belonged to a dear friend of hers who was lost to the curse. For your part in reclaiming Heritage Hill, my lady wishes you to have it. Here, it may serve you well in battles. Thank you, Carrier. You are quite welcome. Now I must be off. Farewell. Pistol, this is quite good. It's quite accurate. It does a fair amount of damage. The matchlock, it does more damage though, but this is more accurate. And plus it's magical.
I'm here.
Now where are the lady? Oh, Lady Web will see you now. Sits the Lady Web. This woman clutched a thick stack of parchment with spindly wrinkled fingers. Their flesh stretched thin to near translucent. With extreme age, a gossamer veil over the pale blue vein, ink splotches and candle burn, and the scars of immeasurable slices from the edges of the scroll dot and stripe her hand like a quilt patterned after great indescribable truth. She does not look up from her reading.
So, the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Cad Noir. Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
Think she saw your a little lump in the thoughty mass too?
Since then, as I understand it, you entered a quarantine district that is absolutely off limits to all civilians and somehow managed to walk back out with your life. What could possibly have been on your mind to make you do such a thing?
I'm investigating a strange group.
Strange does not begin to describe them. The practices of the Leaden Key defy all reason. You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the leaden key?
One of their members caused my soul to awaken. I need to reverse it. She closed her eyes and the lid flickered. Then her face goes still, and her mouth parts little more than its silver, and her hand briefly dropped open, spinning some of her parchment to the ground. The pages ruffled around her leg like the leaf of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peeled back and her gaze immediately upon it.
The gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. One of the most elusive and dangerous men Aora has ever known.
How do you know I seek Theos?
Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it. You even happened to catch him in his ceremonial garb, it seems. Must have been a special occasion.
What is there to know about the Leaden Key?
Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other members. They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in, or sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know. If you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal.
Yeah, I can see. Only a few people would be interested in that.
Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary. And he does not fail.
That is good to have a person in charge like that. And what can you tell me about Theos?
More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it. What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Woodica's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also explain another supposed gift of his. His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others, if their souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity. He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a driven, single-minded man. He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
What do you want from me?
Keep me informed. The Leaden Key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you. Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can.
This is a win-win situation for both of us, but I still have to pay attention to what web interests are. Very well.
If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
There is something I can tell you about the Lenki operation.
Well, let's hear it.
The Igresan Tower and Herchair contain an ancient machine that can control flow souls. The Lenki activated it.
This is troubling. That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The leaden key was born in that period. It may be that Theos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
That's all. Farewell.
Try your best not to die.
That is nice to have at least a noble backing you. Go to the sanatorium now and see what the patients there can. And there the domails. Okay, I have to talk to the warden. For now.
Point the way.
Hmm?
Where are the warden? Oh, this must be his office. Or this one here.
Hail and well met.
Now I can talk to you. Do you know anything about awakenings? I'm afraid that is not my area of expertise.
Good day to you.
What is that you do here? Close as we are to Glyph files, we get a number of bivouac remaining every year. Survivors dealing with complications from exposure. This fellow here is a severe case. His essence is a mere whisper of what it was. I am early in my research, only beginning to understand how they work, but in time I hope to find a way to protect people from storm effects. Head Warden. Oh, this is a statue. And the Head Warden. A well-maintained statue of middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down, unblinking, over the bustle of harried academics pestered by hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from what sends across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel as its tension towards you. It's been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insight, Fowler. I can only imagine how it might have helped you in help my work in life. I'm curious how you come to be in your presence. Does anyone here know anything about awakening? There's the animator on the lower floor who come all the way from Revray to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Balthage. My theory is that with Aloth's condition, one of two things may happen. One, a normal state without the other personality, or I have to choose between these. Or whatever event happened afterwards, when that begins. And it is Balthage.
Hello.
A woman paced back and forth, her feet clenching on the soft carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pored over the pages of notes. She almost walked into you. Excusez. Here I am. Look so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kiss standing in front of me. What can I do? I am looking for an expert on awakenings. That would be me. Though the lack of research subjects have made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer animancy success into buttressing pre-awakening souls to soothing. Those souls have already awakened, but I need subjects. And most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It's a tragedy to come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I have a volunteer. She sprang to the ball of her feet, beaming. Galarade. Who is it? Aloth's lip curled into a frown. I don't know about this. She grinned more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon. You Adrians are so uptight. I do not do not even know what this thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. They upgrade him to a cell. Again, there's a time for humor and time to be serious. She rubbed her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you sit here. She take Aloth by the shoulder and steer him to the couch. And try to relax, but don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed, his eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your attention. The animator fastened thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrist. As she ratcheted them tighter, his face twitched with a suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knob dialed and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It's fitted with a lens cut to different thickness and conventized. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Does this mean we get to talk to Idamaya? More, I like that lady. His mind is full of hesitation, angles upon angels. Drawing him out of his own field will be difficult. She raises a finger. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Thanger pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure you won't hear any of it. I'll scram on the couch. Very well. I think I know that feeling you're going through. I don't like having tests on me either. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob to begin. Tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in Thailand. He looks to you, his face set in a frown, but the rigid edge oppression shows so nevertheless. Talk about your parents. As you speak Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the midst of his own memory. Outside doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as though your words are smoothing his essence, untangling in many threads. He closes his eyes. Mother is always most of the time with some family, but I always know when she is coming home. Father bottles accumulate like storm clouds on the horizon. His fits of temper become swifter and more violent. It still shames him, knowing that her handing to another man supports us better than his labor as a steward. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother present to remind him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I'm sweeping the kitchen, the next I sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at the flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots glistening with fresh polished soot across the floor. He kicked me in the stomach and I curled up in a shield my vitals, but his point is protecting one thing only leaves something else explodes. Still, huddled to the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling needed nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locked and his eyes switched beneath their lids. Maditikoch. Aloth fiercely cranked the knob. He hypnotized himself with his own memories. You got to bring him out. Quickly, I almost had it. Squeeze Aloth's hand. Okay, you're safe. Everything fine. I hope nothing uncomfortable happened to you. Squeeze Aloth's hand. You're safe. Everything fine. I get to slap him? That is hilarious. You're safe. Everything fine. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. Never safe when I hop upon it. Buffett sucks a deep breath. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. She glanced at you over the scope. Keep talking. He seemed to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices are high in Ari. That warm molasses feeling that creep down your gut when crisis is nigh. Bravado. We have flair a total. Distant essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the page next to her and turned one clicking knob on of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Aloth, ask Idamar. Tell Aloth why you awakened. Fine, he's not the one needed me. He's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag, like a turtle in his shell. Aloth's face twists in fury. I never turned. It's over to you. Very good. She rests from her scribbling only to make another adjustment to the scope. I can now see two separate patterns of Ethan. Will he add the other flow, as if the vacant soul filled the space that had leave him empty. Aloth, what is this about ceding space to Idamar? He grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurped me in my own body. And I lend him a pair too. Ye should ask. But I did that old man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I brought it in three places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It never been your decision. Naich was awakened. But now I'm stuck with you, and damned if I let your nenaying drag us both through the scupper. Very good. She lowered her scope and consult her note. I think I finally got something we can work with. I tracked Idamar essence throughout the exchange. She had particularly high density index during the most heated portion of their arguments, and her essence seemed to look like most clearly in the lower portion of the subject ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means she triggered by a black bile. No doubt the subject characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinked back at you, and in midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who looking out of his eye. That other horse shit. That is probably Aloth, I think. Second eyes are widen and second eyes are wide a innocent. It does seem as though she got what's in right. She glared at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have better explanation. And now it comes to the final verdict. Option 4, shouldn't really go. I have to look over the 3 options. Option 1, I'm telling her that what is true. Your clothes, I think, in my appearance are related to potential source of trouble for Aloth. Aloth's fight. The observed Idmar obviously shown up when he feels threatened. Idmar manifests when Aloth is in danger or under pressure. Bethage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. I have to check this against other research. Well, she removed the copper band. Well, and good for you. But what does that mean for me? Belsage frowned at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and make a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the page. What is the best option here? Idmar tries to take control from you when she thinks you can face Idmar tries to take control from you when she thinks you cannot face a problem on your own. You can't let her make the decision for you. My thought exactly. I have to be more careful about her from now on. I got a lot to process regarding. Thank you for your help, John. He does now look at Bethage. She sets her note on the desk and returned to her scope. Well, I hope this has been useful to you, as it has been to me. I finally have material for publishing. You'll be the Tosa Revera Fantre Aloth. His grimace mounted into a crooked smile. I'm balancing the right wise principle of animality. Just what ye always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting moment out of the corner of your eye. Bethage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth holding or notes. He just about to tuck them into his desk when he catches you watching. He folds a finger to his lip. He folds a finger to his lips. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. And now this is a crossroads that I have to make a choice on. No, you got your explanation. She got your research. That was the deal. No, you got your explanation. She got her research. That's what the deal. He slides the papers back onto the desk, giving you a rueful look. I know you don't like this, friend, but it is beneficial to most of the people who will have future issues like this within the game. By this little pain that you suffer through, you will be helping them out as well. I'm not gonna help you explain this one, scholar boy.
Yes?
That's good. I got a minor reputation increase in Rivalwood and gotten more experience. What is my reputation in Rivalwood is now I'm an ally to them. That is good. Now I have to deal with the insane person that I have to talk to here. Some of these side quests are actually quite fun. I'm actually glad that things turned out the way that they did. The Watcher, what bring you here? You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Aloth more clone and then the stone around him shudder. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusion been in our field. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they meddle or whether comedy have struck on its own. But a few up there, less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. When once again I'm reminded of how envious I am of your gift, I suspect they would be of some use verifying one identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well. I take it. They are up to something, and I am trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that, you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea who this person might be? I suspect it is a patient. Very well, in that case, I would recommend that you speak first with our resident animator. They have frequent interaction with both patient and colleagues. You find them up here or in the office downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request.
Howdy do. Good day to you.
I would like to know more about the Sanatorium. Information that attracted me here. The treatment of the deserved. No one else seemed to care about them. Here, they worked wonders for them. I seen people cured of insatiable hunger and uncontrollable urges. I seen the crippled walk and the diaphoric smile. All within these walls. The thoughts that the duck could put an end to it with a single order, it keep me up night. Let's see if this person have anything interesting to look at. Nothing useful there. Does he have anything useful to tell me? Looks like I have to continue my progress downstairs. This is a tiny office. A antimatter scribbled feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Good day, stranger.
Have anything unusual been happening around here? You must be joking. This is a sanatorium. Nothing is unusual down here. Although now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately. But they're Gateman and the responsibility not mine. Then if there was nothing else, what are you working on? My area of focus is which more specifically how to cure them. What a witch. Hollowborn who received transplant animal souls during infancy. One of Animanti's earlier efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. He removed these spectacles and wiped his brow. They show sign of developmental abnormality through their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive, feral, but still victim in need of a cure. Transplanting animal souls into children seemed like an odd solution. Reanimators were trying to do something about the crisis better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He sails at the fixed point of the firewall, and despite the controversy, it only went on so far, because at first it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seem aware of their surrounding, of their family. The complication don't begin until puberty, but that's when incompat- incompa- incompat- incom- incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent and ravenous. But we pay dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down animancers and burned down their home, with them still inside, often as not. The grieving mother recoiled. A gross tech manipulation, a desperate solution for a desperate problem, and the parents were heartbroken, betrayed. She closed her eyes and seemed to recede from you for a moment. But it was important to try something, was it not? To bring hope, even for a little while. She fell silent. You study witches. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face has reddened and he turned away from you for a moment. He shook his head and Mansi have a answer for everything. I know it. It's a simple matter of working it out. The grieving mother reaches out as if to put a hand on Margaret's cheek. Such pain, tortures, and such determination. I see. Then be quick about it and don't touch anything. The sanatorium have a lax visitor policy, but I don't. Without another word, he resumed his work. Now I have to find this kid man Aloth. Oh, this place goes further from here. Is there a way through the door? No, I don't see. Oh, this one. There's a hallway here. Look like I have to go upstairs to continue my progress. Where is the person? Not there.
Gods keep you.
Well met, friend.
I'm curious how you come to be in your present state. In the statue, you mean? Well, I was old, and it seemed wrong to me. Our lifetime spent in a pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday I wake up in a new body, none the other, and the pursuit is different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principle behind our existence, it will be in the spite of our condition. Of that I am quite sure. To live on as part of something, I help build to me a better legacy that what nature had in store. To transform itself, quite simple as our techniques go. And for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when you're not your own. Where is that person? I'm going to check the floor below one more time. Then I'm going to look elsewhere for him. Not in that room. Not in that room. And I'm pretty sure not in this room either.
Hail, traveler.
Oh, Ripley! A young ornate woman traced her finger along the spine of the book in front of you. Row by row, her motion quick and skittish like a bird's. She does not notice you until you're nearly upon her. Oh, you startled me. Are you supposed to be here? Well, it was hard to see you in this room. With the color of your robe and the color of the room. I am investigating any suspicious activity in the sanatorium. Oh, I'm just Master Exorcist. He know more about that, but he's in the middle of probably experiment. I mean, busy with some patient. You won't be able to see him until he come out from the patient ward. Is Aloth busy with the patient, or is he running some sort of experiment? I'm just a assistant. It's not my place to gossip, I'm sorry. How do I get into the patient ward? Only Master Ezo have access. I guess head warden Aloth too, but he the statue. I should talk to the statue upstairs and see if I can get permission. It's been like about an hour-ish now, and I one quest so far, and probably did about 50% of this one as well.
Hail and well met.
Maybe is Cademan Aloth running an experiment on the patients here? Experiment? Kadam Aloth is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I'm disappointed in Cademan. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He be in his office or in the patient ward. I am granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter. And I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the ward. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patient. They have enough troubles. Let's continue into the flesh construct. A curved spine twists the woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over the large like vines. She smiled at you. You must be visiting someone. A friendly visit, I hope. Do you know where I might find Aloth? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of the time there. Now I am just going in random direction. This must be his office, or a office of some kind. Nothing interesting in that room now. Flesh constructs. No visitors, okay? I'm not supposed to go there. This is a laboratory. A round-faced balding man turns to face you. His upper lips is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
SMR told me you were not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yeah, well, SMR haven't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved into an inanimate object. So I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If animators all followed the command of their leader, where would we be? We'd be as backward and willfully ignorant as Red Ceres. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreeing with a statue, but it was right here about this fellow Aloth. How easily a patient masquerade as prudent. I bet he fooled even himself. It seems to me you're still in the dark. Surely there are other paths that don't involve risking lives.
Indeed. Many lives have been spent in such pursuits, writing treatises and poems. But tell me this, how does one verify the truth of a poem? If some philosopher stumbled across the meaning of our existence, how would we know it from a false one? These are wasted lives. In animancy there is progress. We are measurably closer to complete understanding because of our work, and that will be true until our work is complete. Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Have you tried your experiments on any other subjects? I have, yes. No point in lying about that. Now that Elsa more involved, I asked for volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I am very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understand that. They understand their sacrifice would mean something. I need to know if you've seen any unusual behavior out of your patients. You're going to get a lot of luck asking questions like that in a sanatorium for the unbalanced. In truth, I spent little time treating them since I've been reduced in my capacity. You might have luck with some other more functional patients. They tend to congratulate in the main area, just past the entrance.
I'd say it's time to get a campfire going and let's sleep.
Let's see, what are some of these talkative patients I can talk to?
Welcome.
Have any of the patients been acting unusual? Bradil Batiksa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Iraman, who they say only half a soul and who found collecting the face of other because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in no language no one understands, different from their normal behavior, I mean. Well, I suppose nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Izzo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory for treatment. The North Ward has our most trouble cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me that it gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham, I think. It's Graham. I see them talking in the most. He struggles, but he always gets a bit of a royal one.
Good day, stranger.
Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know what I've seen the guard allow a visitor, just Master Mary. You might ask him if he's very sympathetic. I'm sure if I ask the statue upstairs, he will give me the access I need.
Well met, friend.
Looks like I have to go and ask the person himself. I sort of like the different quests. Some involve doing a lot of running around and talking, and others more fighting.
What is it now?
I like access to the North Ward. Out of The question: those patients are in isolation for a reason. I should use the authority I have to continue onward. I've been given permission to conduct my investigation down here. You best cooperate.
My answer is no. Whatever you're looking for, those patients will not be able to help you. The head warden will stand by me on this.
Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head warden.
You smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl shimmering beneath his breath, and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
Okay. It's quite easy to push your buttons. The Norse word would be heal. This is a good point as any to end this episode short. Indeed. It's been like an hour now. In the next episode, I will continue the quest to go into the ward area. Better. See you in the next episode.